Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the breakfast show with myself. And look who we have here. Look who we have here back from the
I don't know where I was at. I was just relaxing, Neil. But yeah, thanks and good morning to everybody.
Jose is back. He's back. Roberto tried to find you in Florida yesterday or over the weekend. Couldn't find you.
No, that's next week. That's not. I'm not there yet.
That's next week. So the reason why Jose is actually back is because Coreweave is down a couple of dollars. So he's back on the grind. Coreweave is down. But when Coreweave is back up, don't be surprised if Jose leaves us hanging again.
Yeah, no, don't keep that stock down. That one should keep up.
So we will have a couple of things to touch on. Of course, the Coreweave story. We have a couple of numbers from Oracle. We usually wrote assumptions, I would say. Those are assumptions. Even the RPO is an assumption. It's not contracted revenue. We have a couple of other things I want to touch on. Elevance Health, for example, reported earnings earlier today. It's a good indicator maybe to what United Health and some of the others might report. Spoiler alert, a double beat. Pre-market, it looks like we are flattish for the stocks that we do mostly cover. So I'll pull this one up real quick. We can see that most of the stocks that we cover are flat-ish. The ones that are green are the ones that did report earlier this morning. Reddit, after being under $200, is now back at $210 or so. Positive commentary from some analysts. We've got Rocket Lab that continues to go up. Now, the, of course, scientific experiment that we're running here is what happens with Oscar. So
here for the data.
We'll see what happens with Oscar when the market opens. So far, it's up 0.1%. Coreweave is down another 0.3%, and Nebius is down 0.6%, while Iron is down 1.4% at the moment. Before jumping into everything, Jose, speak.
I was gonna say, Galaxy. I don't follow it as much, but I know it's kind of a popular one in kind of the AI infrastructure play. I don't know if is it just a pure PowerShell, Neil, or are they kind of like do you know much about them? I just know they reported earnings and the overall market seems to like it so far.
Yeah, it's probably again one of those types of names. I only know it because of the I think CEO Mike Novogratz is the CEO of the company, right? think Amit talked with him not that long ago, but other than that, I don't really follow the company that closely. But yeah, they did report earlier this morning. Coca-Cola reported, RTX reported, Lockheed, and so if you want to really quickly look at Galaxy, that's basically what they reported this morning. Revenue up 223% quarter over quarter. Okay, with these types of companies, of course, it's not that surprising anymore because previously they probably didn't make anything. Now they're all making maybe the switch towards more AI cloud. Again, I don't follow that company closely, but these are basically the results. So there is a data center segment here. So Helios is the name. Adjusted gross profit 2.7 million, adjusted EBITDA 3.7 pre-revenue phase right now. Treasury and
Yeah.
corporate.
Yeah, so it seems it's more of a power show because it seems they signed the lease to Coreweave for a full 800 megawatt commitment. So it seems like more of a pure power shell here play. So I mean, this could be a great indication for a lot of the overall market, but it's something that we've heard is we're still just power constrained, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
Yeah, yeah. Um, First up, quick thank you to Jorge for becoming a member of the channel, and Rob changed his name to a shorter one here. Thanks for super chat, Jose, gracing us with his presence from his mansion in Palm Beach, slamming it with the proletariat. What is this?
Uh,
Proletariat. Man,
and
Roberto, you're coming in with some fancy schmancy names here.
Yeah. And then shout out to Eddie real quick, everyone that is back from getting cigarettes. No cigarettes. I was just chillaxing. And but we're back. Earnings season's in full swing. We have Intel this Thursday, right? Yeah, I think that's in the semiconductor AI space. That one's one that I think we're gonna really keep a closer eye on. And then tomorrow I think we have some interesting ones. Vertiv in the data center. We have Tesla, we have IBM. So I'm happy earnings is back.
Okay, so apparently it's the working class French Revolution terminology. Okay, early morning for Jose, afternoon for myself. We're learning here throughout the day. Who needs Duolingo when we have chat? Bear case. Um, no, but it's been a while since we've had a show together. Anything that you wanted to touch on that we didn't touch on
Man,
previously?
I don't know what was the last thing we touched on. TSMC's earnings. I think TSMC's earnings I
Hmm.
thought were pretty good. There was one quote by the CEO that still sticks to me. They said that AI demand is stronger than it was 3 months ago. And 3 months ago was already pretty insane. So they're still and TSMC's management, I think we both say it, is a management that just says it how it is. They don't sugarcoat it. They don't hype it. They just say it how it is. And for them to say that gets me pretty excited about the AI space. The other thing from TSMC's earnings that they say is that even their customers are talking to them. I'm guessing that's Sam Altman calling TSMC CEO. This guy is trying to call everybody and make a deal with everybody, but yeah, it was that one was one. I can think of others, but would love to hear your thoughts here on TSMC.
Yeah, I mean, they capex wise, they did everything not to really tell us black on white that they are doing everything possible to move as fast as possible. There is demand. We're trying to grow as quickly as possible to meet that demand and put supply online. So that's still good. That's still going to continue in 2026. Um, Overall commentary was good. We've just got the Blackwell out of the United States, right? The first one. That's positive. We've had ASML the day before. The day before? Yeah, I think the day before. TSMC. Um, Commentary for them, I think the main line there was that revenue for 2026 is not going to be below 2025. That was the fear of the market, that 2026 is going to be a down year for ASML, but seems like they are still expecting to grow in 2026. So I mean, so far so good, right? The more we go into this earnings season, we're going to hear about especially the big tech players, what they're doing capex wise. Some especially Amazon. We're going to see what happens with AWS with the recent outage, but especially with AWS growth, a reacceleration, probably with the help of or thanks to Anthropic. Google, I fully expect them to have another blockbuster quarter. And then there are the rest, right? The Intels that will report Thursday. Then we've got AMD and and the rest of the lot. I think Intel, the quarter is probably going to be I would say an easy quarter to beat because again, guidance was quite low. But the focus is definitely on the earnings call. Maybe they'll make an announcement. Who knows? Maybe they'll have a foundry announcement to make. We'll see. But the focus definitely on the call, commentary on the foundry business, 18A that was also announced, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago. And yeah, like you said, tomorrow we have Vertiv, we have Netflix today or tomorrow. I think today, later today.
Yeah, I think we have Netflix today. I'm looking at my calendar real quick. We have Netflix today. In the semiconductor, not a fun one, but Texas Instrument is reporting today. And Intuitive Surgical is also reporting today after
Yeah.
hours. And then this morning was Galaxy.
Okay. And tomorrow then we have Tesla after hours and a couple of other, I think Lam Research as well, if I remember correctly. So it's interesting. We always get more information. Of course, it's now 2 quarters after that, or maybe 2.5, I would say, but let's say 2 quarters after that tariff shock. So I would assume that all of the companies will have something better to give us than, oh, it's unknown. I mean, you've had time to figure out what the heck's going on. Yes, I know things are changing quite rapidly, but at least we will get a bit more solid information, I think, in this earnings season. And then the focus will definitely still be on, okay, this AI story, especially from the smaller name, the Coreweaves, the Nebius, the Iron, all of the other AI companies, Texas Instrument. I honestly, it took me a long time to figure out that it was not just a calculator making company. Because let's be honest, everybody knows them because of the calculators, not because of the chips that they're making. But yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting.
And Joseph here brings up, well, we're here in Texas, Joseph brings up TI's a bit boring, very true. In the analog space is a bit boring, but it does shed some light on the semiconductor world, even if it's in the lower tech side. Agree, Joseph. So that's why, I mean, we enjoy covering some of these stocks, even if they're boring, is that you get insight. They're going to tell us what's happening maybe in the industrial side, maybe the robotic side. They tell us what's happening in the automotive side, right? So we can kind of use that information, even if we don't own this borrowing company, but to try to understand how maybe starting off the market shifts. So I agree with you there, Joseph. Appreciate that comment.
Any comment on the Coreweave situation? I pull up the chart because people are already freaking out because it's down to $2 or something. But
Yes.
the Coreweave situation is more specifically the cores situation, because that's the reason also. I mean, yesterday it was down 7% because one big shareholder of Corn Scientific sent out a note saying that they should vote against the acquisition. What do you make of all of this? Because we've had the CEO of Coreweave say that, look, the bid that we put in, we think it's a fair bid. We're not going to raise the bid either. We see the value there, but it's a nice to have, not a must have. That's what he said.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. I think right now, obviously, if you are a PowerShell company, you're seeing all these other companies jump up like crazy, right? So the market, it's fair for course investors to believe that their stocks could be a lot higher if it wasn't stuck with CoreWeave. I think for CoreWeave, though, they should not increase the price because they mentioned, right, this acquisition in a few years creates like $500 million of savings, or I forget what's the actual numbers, but you're going to increase your valuation on a acquisition by billions of dollars to save millions of dollars. That doesn't make sense, right? So for CoreWeave, I think the market is going to react negative if the acquisition doesn't go through. But if they increase the price, it no longer justify the reason for them going. Because at the end of the day, they already have massive contracts here with Cores. If the acquisition finishes or doesn't go through, they still have those contracts with them where they're going to have these power shells. we saw that they just have another kind of partnership with Galaxy where they up to 800 megawatts. So they have other players as well. And when they do the acquisition with Cores, or if they do it, it's not like they stop paying for that power. They still have to pay kind of everything in between, the maintaining all the employees that they're going to employ. The only thing that they're no longer paying is that margin difference of a business. And I don't think it's very high. I think it's probably in the low teens. So for them to increase the prices no longer makes sense for CoreWeave. If the acquisition doesn't go through, I think the market will react negatively, but I think it's just dumb market reaction. Um, I agree with the CEO that it's a nice to have, but it's not a needed.
Yeah, especially since they have a contract with them, right? If First of all, if they didn't have a contract with them, I don't think Core Scientific would have been at a place where they're at right now. That's one. Two, again, the acquisition does not go through. The contract still stands. Acquisition does go through at the initial price. We still know how accretive this is going to be. Like you said, increasing the price of this transaction will not make sense. That's why the CEO says we think the value is there, but this is the price we're willing to pay for it. Because okay, if you are going to increase the price of this transaction, then yeah, why do it if it's not going to help you further down the line? Yes, maybe you will be vertically integrated, but they've made the calculations, and the calculations say that this is the price to pay in order to actually benefit from it being integrated. And so, I mean, I think worst case scenario is going to be they don't acquire it, and Core Scientific shareholders will see their stock drop quite a lot over time. Maybe not immediately, but over time, because they just lost Coreweave.
Yeah, I agree. Lee. I think for cores, you will have the opposite effect where the market will react very positive to it, maybe because be like, oh, it opens up the opportunity for us to make other deals and stuff, blah blah blah. But I think in the long term of things, like, not I was going to say 20, like 2 3 years from now, course investors are going to be maybe would have been better if this would have been like a CoreWeave situation. Because let's be honest, right now it's power constraint. You're seeing multiple valuation growth in these power shells because of that market sentiment. 3 4 years from now, are we going to still be in that situation, or is power going to be not fixed, but a lot less constraint? If it is in that situation, valuations for a lot of these companies will drop pretty fast. Um, so if I was a core scientific shareholder, which I'm not, I would be voting for this deal. I think the opportunity, and maybe I'm biased right now. It was an all stock, it's an all stock deal. So you get core weave opportunities, and this is to me one that's still a multi-bagger opportunity in the long term of things.
Yeah, because on the one side, I mean, you might think that, okay, they're maybe underpricing cores, right? If you're a core size scientific shareholder, I'm pretty sure not everybody thinks about it, but that's what the big shareholder yesterday basically pointed out. But on the flip side, if you are going to get acquired by Coreweave, you get Coreweave shares. Coreweave as a company becomes a better integrated company, which means that over the long run, you should be winning. And so you are essentially you're still getting Core's shares, but they're just called Coreweave shares because you're not part of a bigger company, which will probably become much bigger than what a Core Scientific standalone company is going to be. So I don't, of course, we are biased because we own Coreweave, but we, I don't understand the argument here against it, because you are getting Coreweave shares, and Coreweave will own Core Scientific, which means that you will still own Core Scientific. The only reason why I think people are against it is if they want to sell out at a bigger premium. Is they don't want to own it anymore, they just want to cash out. Then I
Yeah,
can
like
understand.
For example, Neil, I think you mentioned a great point. Like maybe one of the big players decides to buy it. Let's say a few random scenario, Amazon, AWS, or Microsoft, or all these players. They're just going to pay cash, and then you just have cash. And then what are these investors going to do with that cash? End up picking another. Um, Not everybody, but someone will end up picking a meme stock, and then that stock eventually fails. You probably would have been better off about having a company that is going to give you an asset that has a potential to grow without you doing much. So I I get the core side. I think right now the market is pretty greedy, especially in the PowerShell, and they're trying to squeeze everything out. So I get why they're trying to do that, but I also get why Coreweave investors shouldn't really be too worried about it. And I want to answer this question, Neil, from Chris, and I've seen
Mhm.
some in both our channels, kind of just talking about Coreweave buy price right now, or would it bounce back? Chris, long term, I'm still very, very much bullish in this stock. For me right now, if I was to add, it would be very small dollar cost average. I don't think this is a dip to like be buying a big amount. It's more like that small dollar cost averaging opportunity. But long term, I believe this is still a multi-bagger in my portfolio.
Yeah, man. Essentially, since the recent highs, stock is down 16, 17% or so after going up a lot more than that, of course, since since the start of September. So, what do you think? Prediction time: acquisition goes through, or they just leave?
Prediction time, and it usually I'm always wrong with predictions. I think it's gonna go through.
At the same price?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think there's any changes. I think CoreWeave's management is just it's right. Right. I think their CEO used to be a major banker. He used to be in Wall Street. I think he knows how this money stuff works really good. So I think he's gonna strong on them and make sure to do the price. If it is a price increase, it's gonna be very, very minimal. Um, I would say maybe like no more than 10% increase in price if it goes.
Okay. I mean, the only reason to increase the price is if course management tells them, okay, you increase it by a little bit, we are going to go through with this deal. Because otherwise, you show weakness, and if they want to acquire another company in the future, they'll probably use the same tactic. Um, but let's see what.
And
Um,
Matt brings a point, right? Just 3 months ago, 4 months ago, everybody hated this deal. It was like, oh no, this it's gonna be too much dilution. I agree, Matt. And now everybody's like, oh man, if this deal doesn't go through, oh man, it's gonna be bad news. It's like, come on, pick a side.
yeah, and we've seen this. We've seen this happen with another company. I don't know if it's the Adobe Figma acquisition for sure, but I think it was when Adobe announced that they were going to acquire Figma for $20 billion. Stock went down, and then the stock went down again when the acquisition did not go through, and the stock went down again when Figma went public. So the market is a bit drunk sometimes. Sometimes.
Yellow
Um,
Phoenix.
Hello, hello. So, Nebius, the other one that has seen a pull down from the peak, from really the peak, we're only looking at peaks here. It is down 20.
Because it seems like everybody in the world just buys at the peak. That's
Yes, of course, of course. Every single time. Every single time. Everybody's a bag holder of everything, and we're only buying peaks. We're never buying bottoms or midway. So this one is down 23% from its peak, but from the day before the Microsoft acquisition was announced, it's still up 65%. You see how I can flip it on its head here? Oh, it's down 23%. Yes, but it's still up 64% from just over a month. Just over a month ago, it was at $63. Of course, the Microsoft agreement contract there does change things for sure. But we have seen a lot of names that have gone up quite a lot, pull back a little bit over the past couple of days, past couple of weeks. Yes, some profit taking. Market cools down a little bit. We've had a overall market, not overall market, but a lot of names did pull back significantly in the last couple of let's say two weeks or so, and that's fine. That's fine. It's not something against a Nebius or a Coreweave or an Iron or any of the other companies out there. Just don't forget that 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, these companies were worth 3 times less, maybe sometimes 4 times less. So a lot of these companies are up triple digits easily year to date, and especially over the last couple of months. In this case, with Nebius, it's still up 65% over the past 40 days. Um, and so, yeah, we're back to prices not seen since, what is it? September 26. So yeah, less than a month, ago. I don't think this is. I mean, this is a great. This is great for me who wants to accumulate more and more shares. This is great for other investors that want to accumulate more and more shares. But I haven't seen anything that goes against Nebius right now. Yesterday they announced, yes, a smaller data center right here, a small data center, NVIDIA Blackwell to Israel with one of the country's first AI infrastructure deployments. Some people were maybe a bit not sad, but disappointed. That's not a huge data center megawatt wise. But okay, on an annual basis, I think it can still generate them hundreds of millions, maybe not billions, but hundreds of millions of dollars. And I don't see how this is a bad thing. Just another data center, another deployment of NVIDIA GPUs that you can add to the story. And as they told us when the the agreement with Microsoft was announced, this is not the last one, right? They are going to go after more and more of those big deals, hyperscalers, enterprise customers, and AI lab. We've had those reports that XAI is looking at potential partners. Everybody started to speculate. Could be Coreweave, could be Nebius, could be Iron, could be whatever. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with Coreweave. I mean, as I said it in a past video and live stream as well, if we can go back under $100, I'll take it. I'll take as many shares as possible.
And just a few comments here. I mean, with this one, it's definitely a small data center, but it's in a new area, right? It's just the first data center there ever for them. So you have to also kind of see test the waters pretty much, right? And then obviously there's geopolitical tensions around. You have to make sure that you got to see, hey, do I poke the bear by doing this anywhere? Do I have to make sure, am I able to get chips here at the right amount of time, right? So I think with when you're going in certain parts of the world, you have to be very careful. So I think it's smart for them. It gives them the opportunity to grow better if they see great visibility there. And if it doesn't, if it ends up not being the best move, it was a low risk move. So I'm still very much bullish in a lot of these players. I'm not rushing to buy any at the moment. Like you mentioned, under 100 might be a different story. For me right now, Neil, a big way for me to get some more skin in the game is sometimes like for Nebius. I think you can sell like $100 put for like $7, $8 premium just on a few days, like 15, 17 days away. So if it goes below $100, I pretty much pay like 90 something dollars instead. If it doesn't, I keep that premium. So for me, I really do enjoy the put selling on stocks I want to own. I don't go crazy because obviously, if it goes through, I have to purchase those shares. But during these downturns, that's what I end up doing. I end up selling puts on stocks that I wouldn't mind owning, but still would put it a lot lower than where it's at, and I could still get more than $500 per premium. But if not, then patient investors are also great. Just wait for it to go below 100 if it does, and dollar cost average from there.
Yeah,
And the
I
other
mean,
thing, sorry, Neil, I want to just Matthew brought up a great point. The market is crazy. Market $1,200 an ounce. No thanks. $4,000. I see images on X of people just lining up to either hopefully sell their gold, not buy it, but it's most likely the opposite of people
yeah.
lining up to buy the gold instead.
That's what I saw the same images and video, especially also in China. I was like, why does the title say rushing to buy gold? I would have assumed people are going to rush to sell their gold when it's at all-time highs, but no. Apparently, market psychology works the opposite way. You see all-time highs, you go buy it. You see lows, you go sell. Buy high, sell low. That's the motto. Quick thank you to Rise of the Phoenix for becoming a member. And I think Joseph was a member already, so thank you for becoming one on the channel. For Nebius, like you say, I talked a little bit about the puts strategy yesterday. I think the time frame that you gave is probably because they're going to report earnings pretty soon. So that's why you're seeing maybe some good prices there, maybe some volatility as well. But yeah, selling puts maybe could also be a good strategy for me under 100, because I want to own more shares. That's the thing, right? We don't mind if we get assigned those shares because we want it, and if we can get it at the prices that we want, then fine. Some people will say, oh, but what if it drops even lower? Well, if it drops even lower, then I will just straight out buy more shares for a lower price. But the long-term story here for Nebius, for Coreweave, is still intact until we see something. Else. Someone did ask here about, didn't Nebius tell us that they're going to announce another deal besides the Microsoft ones? Yes, they did say that the Microsoft one is not going to be the last one. They didn't tell us when the other ones are going to be announced, but they did tell us that this is not going to be the last big one. This is also something that they told us last earnings call as well. So to me, price action wise, don't care. If it drops more, I'll get to buy more, and that's about it. This is the pure. And we as people on YouTube, we see the comments, right, Jose? We see it quite a lot. What if it drops lower? I've had my SoFi video yesterday on predictions. SoFi, I'll actually pull it. SoFi went to $30, then retraced back to 25, went back to 30, retraced back to 25, $26 or so. The comment that I saw is, I was hoping to buy the dip. I was hoping for more dip opportunities. And my answer was quite simple. That's usually the comment I get when things recover. But when you actually see the dip, nobody wants to buy it because they think it's going to drop lower and lower. Yes, maybe it is greed, or maybe fear as well, or lack of conviction, or maybe all of the above.
Yeah. And that's why for that mentality, I always tend to buy more in trenches opposed to a whole amount, because I feel like if I tend to buy more in the whole amount, I feel like maybe I should hold on to all this money one more to see if it drops 2 or 3 or 4 more percent. Instead of, if you're buying, like, if you spend 10% here, 10% there, you feel a little bit more comfortable. Oh, look, I know if it drops down, I still have more money and I can buy even lower. So that I sometimes it might not be the best thing to do, but mentality, it makes sure I'm able to improve my buying time.
Yeah. Quickly switching here to Oracle. So I have some slides also to show. Let me actually up to this. So Oracle is also down
It's so funny. It looked like
20%.
you were pointing at the computer behind. That was good.
Magic. Oracle is also down almost 20% from the peak. So sorry, bag holders who only bought the peak, you're now down 20%. But everyone that bought here, maybe at 100 and something, you don't exist. Okay, it's only peak buyers here. But Oracle is also down, and honestly, I'm not that surprised, because yes, the initial jump here was because of that huge RPO that they've shown, the comments that they've shown, the amount of revenue that they expect to recognize over the X amount of years. Okay, that was extremely impressive. But I think over the past couple of weeks, the questions started to be asked maybe a bit more vocally. It's like, okay, but how real is this RPO? Or is it going to be contracted? Yes or no? Now, with that said, Oracle had an event last week, and this is basically what they've shown us. The AI infrastructure delivery example was quite an interesting one. So every year, $10 billion in revenue, 35% of total cost is land, data center, and power. 65% of total cost is compute, network, storage. And so gross margins here for them is 35%. Now, we've also had that information article that came out 2 weeks ago talking about, super low margins for Oracle. Maybe that's the thesis popping argument out there. But here they're giving us here the whole AI infrastructure example, 35%. Then we've had this. So this is their long-term guidance. You can call it guidance estimates, I would say. So Oracle Cloud should be going from $10 billion in fiscal 2025 to $166 billion in fiscal 2030. That's 75% 5-year CAGR for them, only for OCI, right? Because for the overall business, Oracle's target is $225 billion by fiscal 2030, and the consensus number are closer to $200 billion, and then EPS is this. So again, huge growth there. Do you believe those numbers?
Let's see. Do I believe those numbers, Neil? I mean, I believe it's possible as long as AI continues to innovate. And that's going to be the question, right? Is AI innovation improving? I mean, I think yes. I mean, VO 3.1, I don't know if you messed with it, it's, in my opinion, crazy. Obviously, we know Google uses a lot more TPUs than anything, but just the overall ecosystem continues to evolve. So as long as that happens, I think the numbers are possible. If there's any hiccups in AI innovation, then this is all destroyed. Um, but I'm happy they share kind of that cost structure as well, the one before this. Um, and to me, that right, I think like it's good to value a company for maybe the next 12 months, maybe the next 24 months if you're really good at it. But year 6, right? I mean, I don't think I would like to value a company in 6 times 12. What's that? 72 in the next 72 months, right? That's not where my valuation method goes, because then it looks like we're back in 2020 or 2021 where we're valuing everything 10 years from now on revenue 10 years from now. So when playing any form of valuation game, try to look at maybe the first 12 to 24 months. Anything outside of that is just good luck. And hopefully the thesis plays out the right way.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the fact that also consensus is at $198 billion for the overall business. Again, the other numbers were just for OCI. This is for the overall business. Is also quite astonishing. It's crazy. I mean, the OCI revenue guidance that they gave us is basically a 16x from fiscal 25 in 5 years. But yeah, if they can pull it off, then it's extremely cheap today. If they can pull it off, but if they cannot, then how big of an error is it going to be? Like, what's the variance going to be if they cannot pull it off? If they cannot get $225 billion by fiscal 2030, is it going to be, well, are they going to meet consensus numbers? Because that's a 13.4% difference, or is it going to be even lower than that? Remains to be seen. But the numbers were insane, and the fact that the stock did not really move tells me that the market is now like, okay, you know what? Too big of a number. 5 years out, stock is up significantly already.
Yeah.
Maybe show us first what happens.
And I agree with Adrian here, and somebody else. This is from your channel, Seems QNC fully agrees with those expectations are out of this planet. No room for unknown situations. And with the AI market and innovation, I think there's 2 forms of unknown situations. The first is kind of like negative bullish sentiments, like what happens when you have kind of like China. If China starts developing more AI labs like DeepSeek, and maybe DeepSeek starts using not the DeepSeek itself, but just the usage of inference goes to some other type of cloud. Who knows? Maybe Alibaba somehow grows dramatically in the cloud infrastructure, taking market from Oracle. So the overall ecosystem still grows, but it's just like, what's going to be the right cloud player? The second thing is, in the unknown side, some crazy AI technology can happen within now and the next 5 years that these numbers were just chump change, and it could actually be much, much higher than that, right? So I think that's the crazy thing about AI right now. There's a future for it, and what can happen within it in the next 5 years could be extremely crazy or impressive, or extremely bubblish.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's again, I'll repeat it. If they can reach those targets, then it's cheap. If they cannot, then we need to figure out what's the variance here going to be. Are they going to just meet consensus, or is it even going to be below consensus? But the numbers are insane. And if it is correct, then think about all the other players. Think about the NVIDIAs, the AMDs, the Nebius, the Coreweave. All of these players are also going to experience an insane amount of growth. It's not just an Oracle; it's the AI space that will also grow immensely. I think the AI space will grow immensely over the next couple of years. That's a given to me. What's not a given is how fast and how big.
Yeah. And I think that's why, I'm happy they gave us a roadmap because we can really track it. Right. It's not like they just gave us this number for year one and this number for year five. They gave us year two, three, and four. So we can look at every single year and say, mm, you said 18 billion year two, but we're only at 16 billion. What's going on here? And things like that will create downshifts in stock prices dramatically if they end up missing. But at least you have that roadmap now.
this is this is some elite level comment here. We're approaching Kim Kardashian's ass level of bubble, but you're not there yet. Good one, a good one. Although I did enjoy the fact that a lot of the names went up yesterday, but the speculative, let's call it quantum names, did not follow suit. I did like this behavior from the market. And thank you to Stefan for becoming a member. Appreciate that. I do want to also talk just 2 seconds on, because people keep. This is a comment on Pinterest. So Pinterest is a company I used to follow before. I used to own before as well. I just lost interest in Pinterest. Yes, it rhymes. I know. I am, like I said, I am a poet in my free time.
Did you guys let Neo make jokes like this while I was gone? This is why I need to come back. All right. You tell this guy lies that he's funny and he runs with it. All right. Let's not
Exactly.
let I have to make sure that doesn't happen again, Neo. I'm sorry to the viewers who had to listen to that joke. All right. My apologies.
One of the main reasons why I'm excited to become a father in the future is to tell dad jokes on a daily basis, and I'll have an audience to to tell those jokes to. But no, quickly touching here on Pinterest, it's something that I said also in previous live streams as well. The company has turned around. It actually went through a sort of a PayPal type of a huge growth during the pandemic, then huge drop as well, especially after the pandemic. A monthly active users dropped because a lot of them just became Pinterest users during the pandemic. Then they dropped. They also they got someone from PayPal to become the CEO of the company, funny enough. And then monetization started to become better. To me, I just lost interest because again, it's social media / advertising play. It looks cheap. Company is doing better today than it did before. But I have already my Meta. I have already my Google, and so I'm already exposed to that category of social media and also advertising, and that's why I lost interest. I'm not going to make the joke again because one good joke is good enough.
So see, now that one's a good one. You know what? No, we haven't talked about before we go into whatever nonsense you're about to go into. AMD with the 550,000. AMD's just been ripping. I mean, last Monday they got that deal with Oracle.
OpenAI.
Oh no, with Oracle. 2 Mondays ago was OpenAI.
Yeah. This big jump
Last
here.
Monday was Oracle, where they announced 50,000 purchase of the Helios rack, and we also saw them actually bringing it out to another semiconductor conference, OCP, where analysts are like, "Oh, look, it's actually here. It's not a fake thing. We see the Helios rack, so we're increasing our. We don't. We think AMD is actually going to do something." So, any thoughts here, on this player?
I mean, it's not like we didn't bang the table on AMD for the last couple of months, right? We've talking about this at $100. We've talked about this under $100, over $100, and yes, they're getting the recognition that they deserve. Of course, they also now get on the one hand, the OpenAI, let's say, money. Again, where that money will come from remains to be seen. But the OpenAI deal, actually, maybe I will. We have to talk a little bit about that. The OpenAI deal, right? The 10% that they were going to get if they reach their target, right? The last tranche is $600, basically $1 trillion in market cap for for AMD, people were freaking out. Oh, AMD is just giving them 10% of the company, blah blah blah. But yeah, but they're only going to get it if AMD gets a ton of money generated from because of OpenAI. It's not like, oh, they're just giving it out for free. On the other hand, okay, I can understand that, yeah, this is something that Jensen said, right? If the MI400 is such a great product, MI450 is such a great product, why are you giving it away? Giving it away. It's not really giving it away because, again, OpenAI needs to spend money to get the AMD shares of the company. But all in all, again, we've been talking about the MI400 series and the fact that 2026 is really when things change for AMD. And it seems like slowly but surely the market is getting the message, of course, after the OpenAI and also the Oracle announcement. I think people are paying more attention, and I don't think we're stopping here. I think we've also seen a little comment from Elon talking about how AMD is becoming better as well with inference. So on the software side of things are changing for the better, and so yeah, I'm not surprised. I don't think AMD will go to a trillion tomorrow or anytime soon, but I am I'm not surprised with this jump. I'm not surprised with this jump. And who knows, maybe now Lisa Su can actually give us a number during the next earnings call and not the usual tens of billions of dollars. Because now we know it's going to be tens of billions of dollars just from OpenAI. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think that 10% thing is. It's definitely it's definitely a deal you make when you're not number one, but it's not a bad deal. Um, right? I'd rather have 90% of a $1 trillion company than 100% of a $300 billion company. The maths. Um, so I don't think it's the worst thing. Like you mentioned, is on trenches. So 600 is the lax one. I wonder how. Unfortunately, they didn't break it down within that 10%. You get 2% at this stock price, 2% at this stock price, 2% at this stock price, and this form of gigawatts. But yeah, the final one is at 600. And for the final one to be at $600, they both had to agree with it, right? I mean, OpenAI had to say, yes, this is something that's actually possible for us to even accept this deal. If not, we wouldn't accept this part of the deal. So yeah, AMD exciting. The 50,000 MI450s from Oracle were also pretty exciting. And I'm just fearful, Neil, that many people are looking at this news and expecting something this quarter, like at least, but it's like Helios doesn't come out till Q3 of 2026. So if any guidance or if any real commentary, maybe next year in Q1 of fiscal year 2026. So my fear for a lot of these partnerships are how much are people expecting to hear about them during this earnings call of actual meat? Or is it okay if we just say, yep, this is working? We'll explain more in the upcoming quarters as we get closer and closer.
Yeah, okay. This is something actually. So the MI400 is then coming out early 26 because previously, because MI450 they said that it's mid 26.
Well, I don't think there's a 400. I think it's just a 450. So when we looked at their AI event, they mentioned that the MI400 was the MI450. I don't. There's not an in between here. So from the MI350, from 350, which is the 350, the 355X, is going to jump to the MI450 and MI4 if they have whatever variants of that one as well. But the MI400 is the MI450.
Quite confusing, almost as confusing as their GPU names.
Yeah, because then you can say the MI300, but there's the MI300, the MI325, the MI350, 355. Yeah, so I understand. Yeah, I see that but I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's just the 450.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. But yeah, like you said,
but I still think it's coming earlier than expected. Usually we expect them at the end of the year. I know the MI325 and the MI300, so I think came out in like Q4. With the Oracle deal, they mentioned the 50,000 shipments is going to happen in Q3 of 2026. So it seems like that it's a little bit ahead of schedule, just like the MI350 that came out in Q3 of 2025.
Yeah. Quickly quickly touching on the one earnings report from earlier today, because I do know some people like healthcare stocks here. So Elevance, also one of the big names out there in that space that did crash a lot, just like United Health. So they came out with earnings earlier today. Revenue beat, adjusted EPS beat as well. That's, well, revenue is up 12%, EPS is down close to 30%, but still came in better than expected. Reaffirmed adjusted EPS for fiscal year guidance and benefit expense ratio as well. CEO commentary here. Our third quarter results were in line with expectations and reflect disciplined execution across Elevance Health. We're focused on advancing affordability and elevating the member experience through value-based care partnerships and AI-enabled digital solutions. And then, as we plan for 2026, we remain disciplined in managing what we can control, positioning our business for long-term sustainable growth and value creation. So I guess here again, the fact that the previous guidance did not change, did not become worse, is already a good enough answer for the overall market. One extra thing here, and that's unrelated to that, but related to a very popular name, and that's Airbnb. Airbnb has been an underperformer now for a while, and I was quite surprised by this. The CEO said that Airbnb hasn't yet integrated with ChatGPT, citing that OpenAI's app tools aren't quite ready. Airbnb will monitor future developments, but wants a fully self-contained system to fit its verified member model. I was quite not shocked, but I mean, Airbnb being right the tech travel company, still not having an AI buddy, let's say on the website or on the app, was quite an interesting statement here. And again, maybe this shows the lack of performance or interest of the company really to move faster, to innovate. Because to say that they have not integrated with ChatGPT, citing that they're not quite ready yet. OpenAI is not quite ready yet after ChatGPT announced what they
Deal
showed
with
us some
Shopify, with
yeah, Expedia, with bookings, with Uber,
yeah.
with all the others. I found this quite strange, and maybe a bit disappointing.
I agree, Neil, because I mean they have all that data on forms of reviews and everything, and it's like, why can't I go to an Airbnb? I don't know if I can. Maybe someone can correct me, but why can't I go to an Airbnb app, open up their AI chat box, and it's like, look, I'm looking for uh Airbnb in this location for this time frame with these types of amenities and based on these types of reviews. Obviously, you can filter it out and do it all probably within yourself, but I feel like they have the reviews, they have the information of the calendars, they have the pricing, all that data within the app. For them, it should be one of the a way easier integration than some of the other players that are doing it right now. That's pretty weird. Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty weird.
yeah, no, it's quite strange, and it should have been something that they did. Well, I wouldn't say 2 years ago, but I mean, if you are a tech player in this industry, you should have moved much faster. Also, I keep saying the same thing, but the fact that they don't have a membership program like bookings, for example, is in my opinion also a huge fumble, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll see. That's Airbnb for you right now. Oscar is down, so the experiment so far is working, scientifically proven so far. But it seems like we've had a little switch. I don't know if something changed with the market, but more stocks are red, I think, right now. Um,
Curious. I mean, I've been gone for almost, I think, over 2 weeks now. Any changes to kind of like your speculative plays? Um, any major portfolio changes?
I did trim my iron position when it was at 66. It went a bit higher afterwards, but I did trim it. I had 1,000 shares, went down to now 500 because, so funny enough, someone in the chat actually said that your iron position is actually bigger than what you think, and I was like, actually, that is true. It's because I mean, look, this thing has gone up like crazy. So again, if we have pullbacks here, yes, the stock is again from the peak, from the peak, stock is down 22%. But the stock from, let's say, where is it? Let's put the start of September is still up 120%. And so I did trim that, and I did trim a little bit of Micron and Alibaba, but other than
Nice.
that, not much. I actually added a little bit of Nebius on Friday.
Mm.
Might add a bit more if it drops more, or just do the selling puts strategy. But yeah, again, just because the stock pulls back, yes, 20% in just a matter of a couple of days doesn't mean that suddenly it's trash and everybody's a bag holder. No, the stock is still up more than double since the start of September. But with iron specifically, I do want to, and this is something that I said throughout the videos and the live stream, there are a lot of hopium posts on X with regards to this name, that there is one guy specifically that keeps tweeting some ridiculous claims about, oh, there's a deal coming. He's been saying this already for 3 months now, that there's a deal coming next Monday. There's no deal coming as of now. Ridiculous claims have been said time
And
and
then the
time
Monday it
again.
does come, be like, I told you 7 months ago, blah, 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 blah. Those that
Exactly.
listened.
Exactly. A lot of the other players, right, the ciphers, the Nebius and some others, they have gotten deals already. Okay, but they have gotten deals. That doesn't mean that we are going to get the same exact deal for iron. We don't know exactly when that's going to happen. And as I said previously, just because you have the land and the connected or contracted energy does not mean that the GPUs will fall out of the sky, right, Jose? I think this is something that people miss. GPUs cost money, right? And in order to go from, we have now or probably just over 23,000 GPUs to go to 60,000 and then 600,000 GPUs, it's not free. It's going to cost billions of dollars for the company. And this is a crucial detail that people miss in this whole story, is that you will need either, yes, co-location, co-financing deals, or you're going to need to raise a lot of money to buy all of these
Yeah. Uh,
GPUs.
and then it's also, I know we're 30 seconds into the market open, the execution risk. Just if you have the GPUs, it's hard to connect them, and make sure you have great reliability. If your reliability is 5-10% shorter or worse than a Coreweave from Nebius, your prices are going to be a lot cheaper, because if I'm paying for GPUs and you're giving me 10% less GPUs because your hours are always down, ding, 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 market is open.
Bing, 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 bong.
Bing, 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 bong. Market is open. But I think execution risk is very, very crucial for a lot of these players now.
Agreed. So market is open. We've had the OG ding, ding, ding here right now, October 21st. The heat map will update, as you know, in the next couple of seconds. The watch list is updating every single second. We are currently having more red than green. People are asking, what's the Oscar experiment? Well, every time Jose is on, which previously was a lot of the time, we talk about Oscar,
Shots
the
fired.
stock, and we talk about Oscar, the stock is red. When Jose goes to Florida and is not on the stream, the stock is green. That also rhymes. Thank you very much. I'll be here a whole week.
I mean, it's like when Jose used to have great work ethics. We used to, but now that he's a lazy bum, things are okay.
But it doesn't matter whether he's lazy or not. If he's here, Oscar is red. This is the experiment, and scientifically proven. We have data. We have data to back it up. So we have here, we'll start with the red because we have more red than green. Applied Digital is down 2.7%. Iron is down 2.2%. BMNR 2.2%. Coreweave is down 2%. AST, same thing. Nebius 1.2%. Micron is down a little bit, 1 point. And then, yeah, all the rest is basically either 1% or a bit more than 1%. Who's green for now? That's Reddit. Amazon, surprisingly, is also green. Even yesterday it was green. Meta is green a bit. Zeta, Rubrik, dLocal, Uber is flat. United Health is flat. PayPal is down 0.2. Some people were asking me about dLocal. I did answer in the chat, but probably you missed the answer. But dLocal, do I expect the same good quarter as last quarter? I do expect them to continue to grow quickly. and in a profitable way. We'll see how big the impact is on the FX side of things, especially with Argentina and then maybe some other countries as well. But overall, I still expect them to report good a good quarter, a good quarter.
Yeah, Neil. And I saw someone, I forgot who it was. I think, I don't know if it was, let's see. I don't know if it was Eddie, but someone was asking if I learned anything from the conference that I was in that I would like to share. Um, One thing that I saw, it was just a general semiconductor conference, so there wasn't like a main topic, but one topic that a lot of companies were talking about was advanced packaging. And advanced packaging, you have a lot of different ways to play about it. You have mainly in the equipment space. Neil, in the equipment space, you can play it two ways. First, the equipment that actually helps make these forms of advanced packaging solutions. And there's various steps to them. And the second thing is, and the reason we need improve advanced packaging is you can increase the yield of things like HBM. You can increase the yield of AI chips, and you can also increase the power efficiency of these chips. So these chips become less power hungry. So in theory, it can help out that power constraint issue. And the second kind of equipment players would be kind of like the metrologist companies that like do the inspection on these advanced packaging solutions. So I would say one of my biggest takeaways is starting to look at companies in the equipment space that deal with advanced packaging that are less than $10 billion market cap that can benefit from that space as you're trying to see massive yield increase in AI chips. You're trying to find ways to improve AI chip efficiency in forms of energy.
Do you know anything about Amcor? Huh,
I don't
Tracy.
know. Yeah, I keep seeing that one. I feel like I do know it, but I don't. Uh, I know they help with packaging. I'm just Googling it, and I know they work with TSMC. TSMC kind of sometimes offloads some of the advanced packaging that they don't want to do to them. Um, but in forms of what actual solutions they have right now, I'll get back to you guys on either tomorrow or Thursday on more information of that.
Okay, and ACMR, ACM Research. So
Yeah.
apparently also a name
Yeah.
that people mention.
Yeah, so I think most people are going to be looking at the actual advanced packaging companies, but I would say that's probably, I mean, they can definitely move up with the excitement, right, Neil? In forms of stock price. But a lot of these are already multi-billion dollar companies, and these are ones that already do advanced packaging. They just continue to innovate. I personally believe the best return possible is through the equipment players that are less than 1 billion and that are hitting this niche market. And that is something that can 5, 10x their business because it's a completely new business for them. For a lot of these, it's just a new variant of advanced packaging. But for equipment players, it's a whole new market opportunity. So that's why I think it's better to look at the equipment players opposed to the actual doers, the doers of advanced packaging. Um, Kind of like it's better to buy the axe and what is it, the axe and pick or the shovel and pick, whatever
Picks
the
and
saying is.
shovels.
Yeah, picks and shovels instead of the actual gold itself. I think in this aspect, the gold itself is the advanced packaging company. The axe, the shovels and picks are the equipment players.
Okay, fair enough. Quickly looking at some other names here. Also, what do I think about PayPal? You know me, I love PayPal. I think they'll report a double beat next week. I've got my options. I still have some shares. Easy hold for me. Salesforce, since their presentation, they're up a little bit. Also with their big $60 billion guidance for 2030, $257 per share. Adobe also seems to have bottomed out here, up a tiny bit right now. Figma is back into $55. We have some other semi fintech players. Sezzle is down a tiny bit, still $75. Dave, probably the same thing here, also down 1%, $213. Klarna. Klarna is probably still around the same bottom area as a month ago. What other names did Mercado Libre? Let's see what happens with this one. Okay, we did see it rebound from the around $2,000 area, up 1.7% at the moment. Let's see what other people here have been saying. What has Air Test System done more recently? Okay, small recovery here from the dip. I don't want to jinx it, but maybe
The
the
curse is
experiment,
broken.
the data. It is green a little bit. We're not going to push our luck further. General Motors, yeah, because they did report this morning. Guidance is also a bit better. Tariff cost has been lower, I believe I've seen. So that one is up 11% this morning. Novo Nordisk is still at 55. Still at 55
They're
bucks. I
saying
still think.
Coreweave is recovering. Or what are the cloud players doing? I don't think so.
What? Where is the recovery?
Right there, Neil.
It's like
There.
the Coreweave is crashing.
It's the Joe, what's that movie? The Incredibles? And when the guy's showing him the I forget his name. It's not Flash. What's his name? Freaking this is gonna bug me. I'm gonna Google that later. Somebody in the comments let me know. It's that speed guy. He's like, there, right there. You see it? Right there.
His son.
Yeah.
Crash? No. And now we have to look it up. The Incredibles. What came out 21 years ago?
That's wild.
That's crazy. Dash.
Okay. Beyond Meat's going crazy. I saw it join this meme ETF. This is just the meme ETF buying and increasing the volume of this stock that it creates this positive reaction on the stock itself.
Beyond Meat. Didn't they like file for a bankruptcy or I don't know, something?
Yeah. And people are letting us know, Stash. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
We have some movie experts in the chat. Always useful.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Beyond Meat. Since we're talking about Beyond Meat, what's up with Open? Still 7.
Oh, wow. Pretty impressive, eh?
Yeah, still holding. Seems like a $7 area of support right now. Iron is down a little bit, 4.2%. Applied Digital 3.6. Coreweave 4. BMNR 2.3. Nebius 4%. Ooh, interesting. So we are getting maybe. Let's see if we can go under and reach that 50-day moving average. We'll see. Other than that, yeah, the only green names right now are Duolingo, Rubrik, Meta, Zeta, Amazon, Reddit, and unfortunately for you, Oscar is.
Never mind. Yeah.
Is now right.
Sorry, guys.
Science wins. The science always wins. Yeah. With that said, still overall, I think if we look at the heat map right now, we've seen worse days. We've seen way worse days, actually.
Yeah.
So earnings season is starting. October, I mean, we're almost at the end of October, but October is usually the most volatile month of the year historically. I don't think it has disappointed. We also have, I believe, the CPI report coming out the 24th, because it has been delayed because of the government shutdown, which, we'll see what when that ends. Some people predict it's going to end later this week, and so it might be a good thing for Oscar because maybe the ACA subsidies might be extended, might not be extended. I don't know. But for the Oscar holders, don't forget that Oscar's own guidance is not expecting the ACA subsidies to be extended. So it's pure upside if it happens. And so, yeah, with that, later today, you have a couple of big companies reporting, tomorrow as well. Jose is back. Hopefully, he's not going to leave us. Actually, he's leaving us to next week. He's leaving
This
us.
Is next week? No, it's the week after. It's in Florida.
Oh, in 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be here for a while.
Very good. And so, with that, thank you all for joining. Have a wonderful day. We shall see each other tomorrow. We shall see each other tomorrow. There are some interesting companies that report also pre-market, so we'll touch a little bit on that, and we'll see what happens throughout the day with our favorite AI names, non-AI names as well. So thank you very much for joining us again on this nice Tuesday morning.